Hey guys, I'm Andy.
I'm Neil.
Hey, and welcome to another Warren Studios game of Magic the Gathering. So today this game is between John playing a blue-white, slightly milling deck that he just built today, which he just built on the day, against Neil. And what deck were you building?
I bought the intro pack, Path to Victory, because I've been interested in making a white human token deck for a while, specifically white human soldiers.
Cool.
And this is pretty much a good base start. I'm getting a few decent cards that will definitely help, and a few of the new 2013 cards that will really help, such as Odric, Master Tactician, and Ring of Thune.
Yeah, so obviously, Odric there being one of the stronger cards in the deck. I'm sorry, just before, I'll let you talk about that in a sec, but we're just ready to start. Neil has mulligan once, but he's still got his 7 cards to play in in-house rules, so he still has 7. Looks like we're here, ready to go. Yeah, and John's going to lead now. John's go first. Okay. So sorry, Neil went first. Sorry, we got the toss wrong. So Neil's gone first there. No, John's played Plains and played Cathedral Sanctified to start the game off. So he gains 3 life for the 1/1 creature. So Odric Master Tactician. That's probably the strongest card in your deck, would you say?
In the deck, yeah, it probably is. If you not only is it's 4 mana to play for a 3/4, which is always nice.
Yeah.
It also has first strike, and its special condition is whenever it and at least 3 of the creatures attack, you can choose what creatures block this combat and how those creatures block. So this is kind of a strange wording, but what this is pretty much saying is you can decide if they do or don't block.
Yeah.
And also what does or doesn't block.
So that's a really strong card in the deck anyway, especially when you got the amount of tokens you get out, because you can get quite a lot of tokens out, can't you, in this deck?
Exactly.
There's a token creation in this. So what we can see here now is John has played second turn, played as Avon Squire, which is a 1/1 flyer with Exalted, and he's then attacked for 2 as Cathedral Sanctified. So obviously Exalted, massive thing in M13 that they're bringing back into it. Exalted being the mechanic whenever a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 till the end of turn, and obviously this stacks quite a lot. And so
the fact that Exalted, it does stack.
Yes, exactly. It does make it a lot nicer and a lot stronger mechanic, especially in this. Obviously, John has a lot of Exalted cards in his deck. We'll see if he gets any of them out. So he's got stuff like the Guardians of Krasa, as we said, the Avon Squire, and I think he's got some others dotted around in there.
Needed, yeah.
Which are escaping me. I can't remember the names of them. Yeah, so obviously they hopefully might show up, and if he does, he'll then be able to stack. So now your 4th turn, you finally managed to get something out, and you've led straight here with the Heel of the Pride.
That's right, Heel of the Pride, which is quite a very nice card in its own regard, but it's also a very specifically nice card in token decks, because whenever another creature you control is battlefields, you gain 2 life.
So obviously, it's nice. Life gain is always quite nice.
It's 4 mana for a 2/3, which isn't incredible, but that life gain combined with the token deck is worth it by far. Yeah.
So John now has attacked for another 2 with Avon Squire flying, getting the Exalted thing, flying straight over the Heel of the Pride and dealing 2 damage. So we're down to 23-16 now. 23 to John, 16 to Neil. John at the moment is looking pretty stuck for land here at the moment. You've only got the 2. You're
I'm doing
playing
well
one a
for
turn
lands,
here at the moment.
But unfortunately, I'm not playing well for creatures.
Ah, right, yeah. So you tapped all 4. You've tapped 4 there to play. So what card is that? That's
the Commander's Call.
Commander's Call. So that's the 3 1/1 white tokens.
Yeah.
White soldier or human.
White soldier, human soldiers.
Human soldiers. Okay. Yeah. So he gets 3 tokens out, and as you can see, we have nice token cards here, and get some coins out as tokens. So now that's gained you a huge amount of life. 6 life there. So you already back up to 20.
Yeah. So I was down to 14 because he was really chipping away at me.
Yeah, chipping away with 2. So yeah.
But yeah, this is when things start to go a little dull. I think it's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Because as you can see, both of these, especially John,
he's got Guardians.
I say Guardians of Krasa we're talking about. So it's a 0/4 defender with the Exalted mechanic as we mentioned before. So probably exactly. So we go swing to the Avon Squire again. This time it's a 3/3. and obviously you can't block that.
Can't block
so
it. So
down,
take
so,
3.
So you take 3 damage. So yes, so obviously the thing about John's deck, if we just quickly look at it, there aren't that many strong cards in there. Obviously, because it's slightly milling, but obviously because it's slightly, you can never really.
You can't really slightly mill.
Slightly mill, yeah. You have to really commit to it. So obviously, because he built this deck today, just from the new M13 Deck Builders Toolkit, which is really is a good thing to buy, especially with
great thing to start off on.
A great thing to start off on. It's like obviously you can build loads of variety of decks. There's loads of different colours, and there's all the land in there.
There's lots of different fields for it. You don't just like if you don't just get this is black life gain.
Yeah, exactly. So
you get black exalted, black.
Yeah, so you get lots of different options in there.
Lots of things.
Yeah, but obviously, as you can see, he's not got that many stronger cards in there. He's got some stuff that he could pull out later on.
Another Guardians of Crescent.
So there's another Guardians of Crescent. So he's got 3 exotic creatures out now. So now he's swinging with the 4/4 Raven Squire.
At this point, though, I use Divine. What's it? Divine.
Divine Verdict. Yeah, that's right. So Divine Verdict. That's the one where you
another new card, or it's a card I haven't heard of. 4 mana just destroys target attacking or blocking creature.
Yeah, so it's quite nice. It's a really nice card. It's a bit expensive for 4 mana. There's obviously a lot cheaper cards, but obviously this is white, and white aren't massively renowned.
They're not massively
for removal, like that sort of thing. You're looking towards black with the new murder card, or the Doomblade, which is now no longer standard.
No.
But yeah, so if looking at John's deck again, there's not that many strong cards. Like his milling cards, he's got like Mind Sculpt, which is really quite strong for 2 mana to remove 7 cards from a library. And then he's got Dreadwaters as well, which is another quite nice one where they lose X cards equals the number of land you have. Although John is a bit stuck on land at the moment, so might not be as effective if he does get that out.
Here I played Crusader of Odric. This is
a nice card.
Another example of a good card to have in a token deck because its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control.
Yeah.
So if you're like throwing out tokens on quite regularly, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And there are things you can use to buff it. So like
Yeah. So you've gained 2 more life now for playing that.
Exactly.
And this is currently a 5/5 creature, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a 5/5 creature because it's equal.
But then he pacifies.
So straight away with the pacify. So pacifism. Very simple card. Basically means enchant the creature means it can't attack or block ever again. So it sort of makes it redundant, but not fully.
Its abilities can still be used.
Yeah. And now John has played a really nice card, a really nice new card called Fogbank. A 0/2 defender with flying, but basically it prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by Fogbank. So I just want to mention like how good that is as a little thing having a card. That's quite strong.
It is very strong because. It's all damage that may be done to it.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get rid of it by lightning bolting it, for example. That wouldn't destroy it. You'd be preventing damage done to it.
No, you would, because it's only combat damage that would be prevented.
Oh, combat damage, okay.
So obviously, lightning bolt would destroy it, so that there's a 3 direct damage to it that would destroy it. But basically any combat, that card is going to survive. So basically, that would make it very strong. So whereas indestructible cards, which we mentioned in another match, which you should watch, basically indestructible cards would be vulnerable to infect counters. This wouldn't be because the infect counter is only done by instead of combat damage. So this prevents all combat damage. It won't get any infect counters. So basically, it's a really nice defensive card, especially for 2 mana. So obviously, because it doesn't matter that it's got 0, because it's got 2 toughness doesn't mean it's a weak defender card. Because obviously it doesn't take any combat damage. So it's a really nice defender card and really good for M13.
Here I played the second Healer of the Pride, so now I'm getting 4 mana.
Every creature.
Sorry, 4
life.
For each creature I play.
So that's putting you back up to 19, so the score's... Oh no, 21, sorry. Yeah, so the score's now 23-21, so that's quite nice.
Yeah, even else.
So the game is looking slowly, because obviously no one really has anything to attack with, because you've got your tokens that you were willing to sacrifice to prevent most damage, and he's got 3 defenders out. So it's looking quite tricky to attack, and he's just played an Elgon Inquisitor, which is quite a nice card. It's a touch expensive, but it does have some nice effects. It's a 4 mana for the 2/2 with lifelink, and but then also when it dies you get a 1/1 spirit token with flying, which is quite nice. So it does come back. So you're technically getting 2 creatures, sort of. So it's quite nice. It means that you can sort of be, if you want to, you can sort of be a slightly bit hasty with it. Obviously, you can use it to get rid of strong creatures and get the flying. So in this situation, because you don't have much flying in your deck, if any. Yeah, you have. Oh, you've got the Serra Angel, which is a really nice.
Serra Angel, but only
really nice card. Yeah, exactly. So it's rare, very rare that you're going to get that out.
So here I played the Attended Knight, which comes in with a 1/1 human soldier.
So that's really quite nice.
Yeah.
So you've gained 8 life there.
Exactly.
8 life he's gained there, and shoved him all the way up to 26.
Potentially gained 8 life for just 3 mana.
Yeah, so that's really quite strong in this situation. But obviously now at 23-26, this game is probably going in the wrong direction. As I said, it looks like no one can really break through. The 2 main cards that you've got are Odric Tactician. It could come in, and there's also some other nice cards that would maybe turn it around a little bit, because with Odric you could protect
Odric and also my Sarah Angel.
Yep. So now John, in return to your attendant knight, has played his own attendant knight and gets himself a 1/1 token. But he doesn't get any life though. So we're still quite happily sat here at 26-23. He's gonna play Mind Sculpt. Oh, now that's a big. So the card we mentioned before, so that's a really big hit now. So obviously Neil's going to lose 7 cards there, so he's lost an Oblivion Ring there. Sarah Angel's gone, so the one Sarah Angel we mentioned before, that's gone. So a couple of land in there.
And that's Odric.
Odric
Tactician.
That's a nightmare for Neil's game.
Yeah.
So that probably the 2 cards in that deck.
I was hoping.
In the 2 cards in the deck that Neil was hoping to, so they could have turned around and maybe made this game end. We've lost because of the Mind Sculpt. So some of the milling in John's deck has finally come out. It's the first milling we've seen in this slightly milled deck. But that's become very effective. So some with the Algard Inquisitor there.
Gains 4 life.
Gains 4 life, so 27-26 now. We've lost another token, so Neil's lost another token. So pretty much it's looking like this is probably going to go towards a stalemate here.
Yeah. We didn't really have much time when we were playing this game.
Yeah.
Our friend John had to leave. But we thought we'd play a good game.
Yeah, so it's looking like it could go on for a long time, especially this time, so 27-26.
Yeah.
Both playing sort of similar decks here. And obviously it's just going to take a while to get through. So as we said, John doesn't have many cards to turn this thing around, and unless we're going to take forever to mill Neil down.
Yeah.
Which would be quite annoying, so to speak. And with Neil losing Odric and Sarah, it could take a while to get it back.
So I'm playing the Ring of Thune, which is a new addition to.
Oh yes, a nice card. Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
Crab creature gets vigilance, and also at the beginning of each upkeep, if they're a white creature, they get a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah, so this is a brand new set of 5 cards for the in the M13 set.
One for each colour.
Yeah, it says there's a ring for each colour. Obviously they're all artifacts, but they all have things. So it's like there's the Ring of Thune, which gives equips for vigilance, and there's one that equips and gives haste. Then there's the red creature, it gives the +1/+1 at the beginning of each turn. Then there's the blue one, which gives hexproof and the +1/+1 again. The black one allows the creature, or the one that benefits black creatures, also gives the creature for 2 mana can regenerate, and the green one, the green +1/+1, has trample as well. Obviously, they don't have to be equipped to the creatures of that colour; they just don't get the +1/+1 counter benefit, which is probably not as better. The best ones in there that we talked about this before, and the best ones we think are probably the one that gives hexproof, because hexproof is a really nice mechanic.
Not a very common mechanic either.
Not too common, especially being 2 mana to play and 1 to equip. To get hexproof like that, it really is quite nice.
And a cumulative +1/+1.
Yeah. So here's John again swinging with the Elgard Inquisitor again, just to gain more life to send this game in the wrong direction again. So pretty much so, yeah, again, Neil lose another token. We go up to 31 for John, 26 to Neil, and I think this will probably get called off quite soon. Just
I think we should call this off next turn.
And we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So we'll just watch this out, and we'll talk a bit more about some other cards in the decks.
I should have really equipped my Ring of Thune earlier than I did. I kind of just played it and forgot about it.
Oh yeah, so
done.
Yeah.
So, of course.
So you played. So what card is this one you pulled out here? Looks.
I think I pulled out a.
For 2 mana.
Oh, for 2 mana. I think that was another. I can't remember right now.
That's okay. It doesn't really
matter.
You basically you gained another 4 life there.
Yeah.
Sending you up to 30. So it's 31-30 at this point in time. You've collected Evolving Wilds to get another tap land, more land. So basically, we're just nice to set up here. You just want to try and quickly find out. Oh, it's a Johnny Sunstriker. That's what it was.
It was
a Johnny Sunstriker. That's it. They can tap her.
Yeah.
And that's just a 2/2 with lifelink, isn't it?
Just 2/2 with lifelink for 2 white mana.
Yeah. So basically, this looks like. So I think this is probably going to be. This is John's. Probably going to be John's last turn now. You equip the Ring of Thune. If you've done that, you could have done that last turn. Because there's no summoning on equipping. Artifact equipment. So basically, he would have put that on, and this would now still have it. It still have the vigilance, but it would also have a +1/+1 counter on it, which would have been a lot nicer, so to speak, to just to have on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So So yeah, so you then pass the turn, because there's no point attacking, especially with those 3 defenders. John's played the Archaeomage, which is a really quite nice card. It's a bit expensive for 4 mana, but it's got quite a nice effect, especially in this situation. For 4 mana, you get a 1/2 creature, but also you're allowed to return target instant or sorcery card from your hand. And John's obviously gone for the Mind Sculpt. So he'll probably play that next turn, and then there we go. That's called the game. So obviously we would have probably seen Mind Sculpt and get played again in the next turn by John, which would have gone rid of another 7 cards. But basically, that game was going to go on for quite a long time, in my opinion. But basically, what were your thoughts towards the end of the game? Then, did you have any ideas of what you could have possibly pulled out there in that situation?
I was hoping just to be able to be in a position where I had a lot of tokens, had a few more commander's calls, or maybe just being able to eventually build up enough creatures that I could perhaps beat him. I was hoping to maybe pull the Courtly Provocateur, which is a card also introduced in this expansion, and included in the Path of Victory, which is for 3 mana, 1/1 blue human wizard. Tap target creature attacks this turn of Able, or tap target creature blocks this turn of Able. So, you know, maybe hoping to get rid of...
so basically it just causes them to do stuff that they might not necessarily want them to do.
Yeah.
Obviously it doesn't control what they block, but obviously if you're only attacking with 1, basically if you've got a nice strong creature out and you're attacking with it and they're sort of cowering with it a little bit, you can cause them to block. Or that would combine quite nicely in with a card that had Death Touch.
Yeah.
So if you've got a 1/2 creature with Death Touch that's attacking, and they've got a big dragon, either a Balefire dragon or something quite nice and big, or a worm like the Pelican worm, they've got something quite big out there that they're obviously got no intention to block with. You tap that, make it block, and you're only attacking with this 1/2 Death Touch creature. They're going to lose it.
Yeah,
you're obviously going to lose a quite small creature, but Death Touch would be quite a nice mechanic to couple with that, wouldn't you say?
No, exactly, things like that. Also, I was hoping to maybe pull a Captain of the Watch, giving all my creatures.
It's quite nice. Rare card, yeah.
Comes in with 3 white, 1/1 white soldier tokens as well.
Yep.
You know, just something so I could get around his multitudes, excuse me, of defenders.
Yep. And then on John's side of things, the things that John could have drawn, or just some of the interesting cards in John's deck, just because we got some time to talk about it, because the game finished a bit early, is he had, just in that game, the one that would have been quite nice to pull out would have been Talrand's Invocation. That's quite a nice card for 4 mana, and you get 2/2 Drake creatures with flying. So basically this is pulling out 2 creatures with flying. He probably could have left one back, especially when he still had 2 exalted creatures, had the 2 Guardians of Akrasa. He would have been able to attack with a 4/4 Drake pretty much each turn, which would have instantly started doing a lot of nice damage towards Neil. So he could either attack with both, but probably been better attacking with just one, because he did the same amount of damage. Because Neil had very little flying defense. Once a Seraph Angel got, very annoyingly to Neil, got wiped out by the Mind Sculpt. The other one to mention in John's deck, which we haven't mentioned, which I think is quite a nice card, especially in this expansion, is Jace's Phantasm, which is for 1 blue. It's a 1/1 creature with flying, which is also would have dealt quite nicely with Neil's very solid soldier tokens. But it gets quite a nice +4/+4 bonus, as you can see, as long as the opponent has 10 or more cards in his graveyard. So basically, after he's played this Mind Sculpt for 2 mana, he's got a 5/5 flyer again. So basically, that would have been a nice card.
And Exalted making it 7/7.
Not 10/10 though, would it? Would it make it a 7/7? Yeah, 7/7. He'd have got 7/7. Yeah, so he'd have got a 7/7 if that had attacked each turn. So that would have definitely been quite nice towards the end of the game, especially if he'd got that if he'd played that second Mind Sculpt as we saw. So I wasn't sure if he had that in his hand. If he did have one of them, that's definitely a card to look out for in the future that you might want to get hold of. And then one interesting card that we might as well talk about because we have time is one I mentioned earlier, is Loyal Cathar. Which is really quite an interesting card. It's a flip card. You don't get too many of them, especially not in white anyway. So for 2 mana you get a 2/2 with Vigilance, and then when it dies, it transforms and back into your control at the beginning of the next end step. So pretty much you have to wait pretty much a full turn again. You have to, at the end of the turn, pretty much after the combat phase is ended, it will then come back into the end of the end phase as a transformed creature. But it comes back as a 2/1 creature, the Unhallowed Cathar, that can't block. So what are your thoughts on that, Neil? The Loyal Cathar?
Well,
what
it was introduced in Dark Ascension, and as I'm sure you saw as well, in Innistrad and Dark Ascension, there were quite a few cards like a Transform introduced. I've picked up a few Loyal Cathars, and I've never been particularly interested in them. When I was playing black or white, or a combination of the two. It's nice. A 2/2 with vigilance
for 2.
For 2 is nice, and the transformation mechanic is interesting.
Yeah.
But transforming from a white to a black is weird.
It's a strange thing, yeah.
And also, when it transforms, it can't block.
So basically, you're going to get one more turn of attacking with it. But the problem is if it has been, if it's a 2/2 that's been killed, and it's coming back as a 2/1, then there's not much chance it's going to be able to do much, because like either they're going to commit something. So it's quite a strange card, unless of course you have stuff like Captain the Watcher, which does buff soldier tokens, no matter whether they are black or white. And obviously both Loyal Cathar and the Unhallowed Cathar are both soldiers. One's a human soldier, one's a zombie soldier. They would still get buffed the same as if there was other soldiers, but they wouldn't get the human buffing. So like in your human soldier deck, which has a bit of human buffing and a bit of soldier buffing, it's not going to get both when it's transformed.
No.
So
but it would happen to zombies.
Yeah, it's an interesting card.
So for example, if you use Digraph Captain.
Yes, if you use Digraph, but then the problem with Digraph Captain is that is 1 mana, 1 black, 1 blue, which Joe plays with, who you will see in some of the other games on Warren Studios. He plays as a nice zombie deck that's really quite well refined, and we'll get some games of that coming up. And yeah, so basically that's 1 colourless, 1 black, 1 blue, as I said. So then to combine that to get 2 whites out to play your Loyal Cathar, it's going to be quite it's going to be relatively tricky to get out.
Playing 3 colours and then having to have 2 whites
to play. It's quite a stretch to get the Loyal Cathar out in that situation, which makes it really strange that it is 2 white to play. But obviously there's a lot more well-informed people out there about the game than us too. So if you want more information on any of the cards that you've seen play today, or some stuff like that, just go check out the Gatherer website, the Wizards website for Gatherer. That's really good for getting information.
Great time sinker.
And other stuff. Yeah, pretty much great for procrastination, as most of us use it for. But yes, that's really good for checking out cards and getting links to loads of other cards. So basically, you just spend hours and hours and hours on there looking at cards if you really wanted to. Basically, yeah. So go check out some of the cards on there. There's other people's ideas on there. But yeah, basically, that'll be us from here. Thanks for watching the game. Sorry it didn't end as short and for dragging on a little bit here. But thanks for watching. Thanks for coming to Warren Studios. Yeah, goodbye from me.
Take care.